Ladies and gentlemen, and this is Victoria 2, How the South Invented Communism by the channel iSorrowproductions. Yes, another Victoria 2 video. I don't know, obviously Hearts of Iron 4 is great, but something's great about Victoria 2. I don't know, it has its own charm. So yeah, how South Invented Communism, I don't know, by denying, North's democratic president, rather alive with Russia than the president that is elected by Democrats. I guess that's how they invented communism. I don't know. So let's watch it. I like ISP and, basically play single player, right? And I'm a single player guy myself. I mean, multiplayer is fine, right? I have friends, but I don't want to play with them video games, right? Whenever I play game, it's me time. So there is I appreciate single player. So yeah, there are many multiplayer channels like Boken and basically, who plays this kind of a Victoria 2, Hearts of Iron 4, which is awesome. Their bickering is great. But ISP, creates this kind of different scenarios with the game, which is always fun. Let's do it.
No! It's 2018! No! You filthy raisin. Sorry, I meant racist. Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to Victoria 2, HPM Heart of Darkness. Guess what, guys? Today we're going to go ahead and do something that everyone keeps requesting, but really isn't acceptable anymore in the current climate of satirical content. Also, for those asking when I'll be on the Oxcast Jingle Jam, boom, 11th and 12th, I will be on there with Bo, Remy, Sibs, Lewis, P-Flag. Loads of people are going to be there. We're going to do some Hoi 4. If you want to see that, go to the Oxcast Twitch channel on those times. Those are UK times, by the way, and I'll see you there. Raise some money for charity. I can't wait for the inevitable Kotaku article on this one. Leave a like to get me out of the Fort Police prison. Just kidding. I love it in here. So obviously, if you've read the title, you understand what's happening here, and you need to know that I'm taking this very seriously, and I won't squander on any historical bases and make any sort of very lewd and inappropriate jokes. Slavery's bad, okay? That's why I'm just gonna equally enslave everyone in the world. Not just specific people. Especially you, Mexico. You got quite a bit of land I'm gonna want to take before I become my next form. Now, not that I support this,
it's not discrimination if you discriminate against everybody.
So that every state flips with me to the CSA when the Civil War breaks out, but it's not because I like doing it. Guys, I'm not racist. Yeah, problem is with the whole slavery thing, it does really get on people's nerves just a little bit, so we're gonna have quite a few revolts. Oh, those damn Mexicans refusing to give us all of their land for free. How un-American! Yeah, got Oregon as well, which is pretty good. Don't mind all the rebels and the war with the Mexicans, so I'm sure everything's gonna be fine for America. There you go, there's the Mexicans dealt with, and we need to make sure that all of the land we take off of them now flips to the CSA, who we're gonna make the CSA really liberal. I'll make it up to you. Yeah, people really don't like this whole slavery thing. People are getting pretty angry at me, which means I can pass a ton of reforms though, which is going alright, even though this isn't gonna be my country when I leave. Alright, I tell you what, I am slightly racist. I hate Mormons. What's the point? Yeah, nothing like the famous
That would make you big and no racist.
Oh god. Making California a slave state just doesn't seem quite right, but you've gotta do what you've gotta do. At this point, I'm basically just burning down the United States from within, so when I switch, I'm gonna have an easier time, so why the hell not? I'm sorry guys, bit early for us to be revolting. We've still got another 10 years yet. I'm taking a look at the revolt.
I'm not gonna lie, look, in United States, I mean, individual freedom, I mean, in a way that you have a land, you defend your land, everything is just optional, including government. I mean, that's how they arrived there, right? When they came from Europe to USA and founded USA, it's just basically like government is fine, organization is fine, regulation is somewhat fine, but in the end, it's my land, I defend it. Beyond that, you can't tell me what to do, right? So if some authority, I don't know what we are in Victoria 2. Are we the government? Are we the president? Are we just the country itself? I don't know. But when you just implement lots of different things like that, where you try to squeeze out, I mean, obviously that's what ISP does every time, right? Squeeze out resources, squeeze out money, taxing them or whatever. So yeah, the communism would rise like it's nothing in USA at that point.
Risk for my country, and if you can't tell, the red areas mean everything is completely fine and everything's going to plan. It's not on fire, everything's on fire. Speaking of everything being on fire, Germany's at war with France and Russia, and it looks like they're losing. What the hell have you done, Germany? I don't look at Europe for like a whole game, and this happens. And why the hell does Holstein still exist, but you've got Schleswig? What is this bizarro world I'm looking at? Right, now you've got France's balls in your mouth now, Germany. I hope you're happy for your complete incompetence. Oh, well, it's that time, boys, and I've already looked at how big we are, and I feel like you guys are definitely just gonna, you're in for a, we're really quite big. And of course, the Civil War has now kicked off, and we need to kick those Yankees back north of the border. Well, although north is also me. I own a lot of land. Yeah, I feel like this is a little bit one-sided. Just a little bit, though. Like, I've already wiped out the American army now. It's all going to be conscripts after this, which means, guys, we did it. We've won the war. Do you feel free with your states' rights and slavery? Oh, God, what have we done? Yeah, unfortunately, we can't actually add any demands. We can only...
Yeah, recent event kind of made me think about, like, wars are kind of like really fucked up in a way that, if war doesn't go according to the plan of the people who planned it, obviously they're going to be desperate and start to conscript lots of people, right? I mean, there are laws in basically every countries where any civilian basically is required to serve if need be to defend their country. I mean, in principle, that makes sense, right? It's your country. I mean, you can't just sit in your country and enjoy all the things that come with it and not defend it. But if it's the case like World War II, where you have to fight somebody like Hitler and Nazis, it makes sense. Like, you're desperate, it's about survival. But it's just about some, old guy's ambition or revenge. And that guy basically just is in power and just, sacrifices lots of young people and they have to fight. It's kind of fucked up. There has been many wars throughout the history where no soldiers kind of liked it, or even cared about the war because, the goals were not that noble. But they still had to fight and morale was just completely fucked.
I have a white peace with the US for now, but don't worry, I'm sure they will be back to inevitably declare war on me to try and retake their land, but I will be 5 times stronger by then. Oh, this does not feel patriotic in any way. Meanwhile, in Europe, things are still going absolutely balls up because now the Ottomans aren't actually going to fall apart because France decided to keep them strong. I don't know how to feel about that. We'll check back on that later. Meanwhile, I've got to get back to being Confederate slave man. Oh, God. Oh, at least that makes sense. I'm led by a coalition of the liberal and anarcho-liberal.
Populist is now the new ruling party. A coalition of liberal and anarcho-liberal parties got 67 damn
parties. This world doesn't make sense. Okay, so slaves are actually really bad in Victoria too because you can't tax them, which isn't very good. So we're gonna go ahead and try and get rid of the whole slavery thing, which makes you wonder why we did this in the first place. Oh, well, like I said, here they come. Yeah, I definitely didn't leave the USA in the best of scenarios, considering that they're already getting revolts as I just obliterated their army. I actually changed the way that this is going to work for us in the mod file so that we will actually be able to annex all of America over time instead of just being able to annex a few of it maybe by the end of the game. Otherwise, this would be a bit boring, I won't lie. Although I am still surprised I'm getting basically on par the same amounts of immigrants as America is. I feel like the whole slavery thing might turn people off, but apparently not. Destroyed America so hard they've turned communist. Yeah, that whole slavery thing was kind of why we broke free from America in the first place, and now we don't really want it. We just don't want it. So what was the whole point?
Look, man, I think, slavery would have, even if Confederacy would have won, slavery wouldn't have lasted for that long because I guess political pressure would be so high around the globe, right? I mean, it was already somewhat high at the time, but I guess, the world needed their resources from South, so they were somewhat supporting. But in the end, I mean, even in Britain and places like that, the word slavery is just like, oh, this is a no deal. So eventually, people would pressure USA Confederate States of America to basically give up the slavery, right? But yeah, imagine if that had happened, if the Confederacy would have won. That would be something. the alternate history is kind of fun to think because it's a butterfly effect. Who knows what would have changed.
honestly. That's right, because I hate the colour blue, and I want my entire country to be a nice shade of light on the eyes grey, and I think that grey should be further north of the border. God damn you Americans and your disgusting shade of blue. Oh, hell yeah, brother. Grey gang, roll up. Oh, I'm finally on a great power.
Color.
That took so goddamn long. Well, time to start mopping up. Oh my god, there's actually an event for the submarine that the Confederates made. Why is it only just been here? Why didn't I get it during the actual Civil War when this happened? Oh god, I'm literally just butchering America at this point. It looks disgusting. You know what, the Confederates, we made a hell of a lot of mistakes in the past, but we're gonna remedy them by doing everything right now in the name of socialism. That doesn't sound very Confederate. Oh god, that definitely doesn't sound very Confederate. Well, zippity zoppity, your land is now indeed mine.
Imagine, like, you know, I guess Southern Republican, you know, type of people who are basically Confederates, who basically screams commie. That's basically one of the first vocabulary. Just realize, wait a minute, are we the communists? Yeah, I think we are the communists.
Property. So we got most of America down now to the more liberal part of the country, and they're just stuck over here in this one state, but we'll get to them eventually. Surprised no one actually went ahead and annexed Hawaii, so welcome to the CSA. I hope you love socialism, communism, and just being free. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. You know, I don't think the Confederate communists should really be in Canada. Now this is epic! Oh, and there goes the rest of America into the People's Confederacy of Communism! Europe actually managed to sort itself out for the most part, though. Germany reformed, Italy formed, Austria-Hungary still hanging on, and Africa doesn't look that bad. It's definitely looked worse in the past, but that's probably because I've not been messing around with it, but there's still a little few things that maybe we could, you know, fix for them. Of course, it's the damn Danish that invent the fascists as well. You know what they say, no better time for a good old purge. So I know the Dutch have the Suez, and I just feel like that could be under better management. Oh! Welcome, brother! They'll even fight the Dutch for me. Well, aren't you a team player?
Cold War? What Cold War? Russians are brothers, apparently. No sleeper agents, no nothing. Okay, I'm really trying to process it. In this Victorian times, if USA had aligned with Confederate States of America, had aligned with you know, Soviet Union or Russia basically at the time, how would the world wars would have gone? I mean, I guess I think USA would have joined World War II kind of earlier if they were good friends with, I guess, you know, Soviets, right? I don't know, maybe. Or maybe not. They would have joined the same time, and I guess, yeah. But yeah, I think Cold War would have been the Cold War. Right? I don't know.
And Mexico wants to humiliate Sweden. Okay, Mexico. Oh my god, they'll actually accept as well. The Mexicans are in Sweden. I can also actually dismantle the Dutch, even though it's not a great war. I thought you could only do that in great wars, but apparently not. And with the Dutch dismantled, that means I can eat up the rest of their empire that just broke free. All in the name of communism, though, obviously. Oh no, what do you... Really? Oh god. Sure, I guess I'll help. This is actually incredibly easy. I thought the Japanese might put up more of a fight, but I'm smashing them. Oh, and the Soviets white peace before I could add any demands. God damn it, Mr. Who would it be? Lenin? Lenin! Don't mind if I have a small pit stop in China. Yeah, having a late game war with China is hilarious because their units quite literally melt against...
Went to Japan to basically because allies ask you off, and I guess stayed at China because since we are here, might as well, let's just attack China. Why not? It's gonna save us fuel. Why would we come back?
Your armies, it's not, it actually feels a little bit, it just kind of makes me feel a little bit sick to what I'm doing to the Chinese here. Like when I created the great communist states of the Confederacy, I wasn't thinking this is what I'd be doing. I don't think this is good for the cause, guys. Oh, and the Soviets.
Yeah, when you create communist Confederacy, you're not thinking much, are you?
Communism in Indonesia, what have you done? Oh, and immediately my country's just getting flooded with Canadians. Yeah, it's not really a balanced Great War, I'd say, when the Soviets, Germany, France, and America is all on the same side. What I was saying that, looking at the Soviets in Siberia right now, it's just getting flooded by like small stacks of Japanese troops. But while they're busy with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a sneak attack on Tokyo. Yeah, kind of a lackluster Great War, I won't lie, but I did take this chunk of goddamn Japan.
Yeah, I'm cutting it in half.
Doesn't make sense, but sure. Because I dismantled Britain as well. India just looks so goddamn disgusting. I even have little provinces everywhere in there too. Anyway, looking around the world now, and I think it's definitely time we called it here. I didn't really manage to do anything crazy, but forming the Confederacy in itself and making it communist, I guess, is in its own regards crazy. So
yeah. So if this were reality, I guess I would be speaking somewhat German at this point. We would have BMW, Mercedes here from much earlier. Okay. Damn, that was South. That's Confederate Communist. Why not? I think, that like the Victoria 3 is just announced, I guess. And I don't know how to find 5 would be in the future, I guess. Who the fuck knows? I think that, their Paradox Games' goals should be in a complex AI area, right? Like something like this, like something that doesn't make sense doesn't happen, right? Like communist confederacy, like just because of the ideology that would never happen, right? So certain things should never happen, but I guess the way the engine is made, it just accumulates all the time. But yeah, it would be fun to see future games, like how complex the AIs would be, what kind of combination would result in what. At that point, it would be like something like a supercomputer, right? Where you just put in certain scenarios and just wait for the results, like what would happen in real world. Yeah, the scripting is getting better and better, right? AI is getting better and better. So even if you think like, okay, maybe in the far future, not so, in a decade or so, AI would be so complex, it would be ridiculous. It would be like simulation. Alright, people, that was Victoria 2 of the South Invented Communism by the channel iSorrowproductions. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.